What's up, guys? I'm Quinn. Today I'm going to be doing a Rust Monument tier list for beginners, or what I would recommend if you're new to the game. Again, most of my audience on this channel is new Rust players, so I'm just going to be giving you guys a kind of tier list of what monuments I'd recommend doing, what are the best monuments that give the best loot in Rust. So first, we're going to start out with Dome. Dome is actually super solid, and it only requires 11% radiation, so I totally recommend Dome. Honestly, I'm going to put Dome at like an A tier because it has 4 military crates at the top. So I totally recommend it. Just climbing Dome again, 11% radiation. That's super easy to get, requires no card at all. There's actually diesel here too, and I think like maybe 5 or 6 brown crates on the way up that you can grab. It does require a little bit of jumping puzzle knowledge to get to some of the brown crates, but it's really not hard. I think they removed the jumping puzzle to get all the way to the top, so it's super easy to run Dome. Again, just one of the best tier 1 monuments in my opinion. Next we have Sat Dish, or Satellite Dish. I don't really know what I'd put. Honestly, I'd probably put this at like a C. Again, this is really only, I'll put it at a D. It's pretty bad. The only thing you get from this is a blue card. It's a pretty easy blue card. It has a recycler, so that's the only reason it's not worse than a D tier, because it does have a recycler and it gives you a blue card. That's about all this is useful for. You will need a fuse to get a blue card, just like every other blue card monument. I think this is Junkyard, this next one. So Junkyard, again, it's kind of the same situation here. Junkyard's not really a good monument at all. I can't really recommend it unless you are trying to, demolish cars there for scrap or whatever you want to do there to get metal frags and scrap and high qual and stuff. That's really about all it's good for. It's kind of like the same situation as Sad Dish, although I think it's a little bit worse than Sad Dish, honestly. So I'm gonna put this at like E. It's pretty bad. What even is this? Oh, this is the Quarry. The Quarries are awful. This is going in poop tier. They're garbage. Don't use the Quarries. They're really bad. They're a waste of low grade, unless you have like a box of low grade and you're willing to wall the Quarry off. It's really bad. Just don't waste your low grade. We have Mining Outpost. You can't get any cards from Mining Outpost. It is a free recycler, but it's on a road, so you can't really wall it off and get your own recycler. So Mining Outpost is pretty bad. I'm gonna put it at like D tier just because they're usually not super populated, and you can actually recycle a fair amount here without getting into a fight with anyone or anything. I really don't know what this is. I think it's water treatment. Oh, this is Sewer Branch. Never mind. Sewer Branch. Sewer Branch, I'm actually going to put it at B tier. It's a great source of a blue card, and it's super easy to use. I think you can get a total of like maybe 5 or 6 military crates total between the jumping puzzle and the lower area. You will need a green card to get into the lower area, but it does have a recycler and it is protected, so make sure to take out your fuse. Obviously, if you don't take out the fuse or have someone up top taking it out for you, someone might sneak up on you when you're down there, but if you do that, you're actually protected unless the person that comes in has a green card as well. So it's a great protected place to recycle. It has 2 recyclers, one up top and one down below, so I totally recommend this. It does have a jumping puzzle. It's pretty easy. It's the same one that's at water treatment, so I would totally recommend Sewer Branch. It's a really good monument in my opinion. Next we have Military Tunnels. Military Tunnels may be a little difficult for some of my newer players, but overall it's not that hard, especially with a gun. It's doable with bows, although I wouldn't recommend it, and you will need a hazmat suit to enter Military Tunnels, so it does require quite a bit of radiation. It does actually have card rooms too. Honestly, if you're new to the game, the card rooms might be a little weird, maybe difficult. The puzzles aren't super hard. I don't even know if I have I think Military Tunnels was the only monument I never did a guide on, so just look up how to do a guide. I don't have one to link you guys, unfortunately, but it's pretty easy. I usually don't even do the cards, to be honest, because there's usually a ton of PvP around Military Tunnels. That's one thing about it, is it does have a lot of PvP, so that's one thing I can recommend if you're looking for that. Go to Military Tunnels. As long as it's not in the middle of nowhere, it will usually have players there. So I'm going to put that, honestly, I'll put it at B tier just because that's really good at tier 3 loot. And then, yeah, it does have elite crates, by the way. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, that's what I mean by tier 3 loot. I think this is Bandit Camp. No, what is this? This is, oh, this is Abandoned Cabins. Abandoned Cabin sucks. It has a green card. That's literally the only good thing about abandoned cabins. You can build in it if you want. That's like the only monument you can actually build in. So that's cool, I guess. Excavator is next. I'm going to put Excavator honestly at an A tier because they just buffed it a ton. It gives you a ton of stuff. I actually just recently, I think like 2 weeks ago, I uploaded a guide on this. It details all the new updates they've added. They added an airdrop thing. I'm not going to mention too much about this. Go watch the video. I'll link that in the description. So remember to go watch that. I actually made a whole new updated guide on that. So yeah, Excavator's really good. Go watch that video on it right now. Next we have Oil Rig. I think this is, yeah, this is Large. Large is S tier, obviously. Both oil rigs are, I'm just going to throw it S tier right now, large and small. Both are really good in terms of loot and PvP. You'll get a ton of PvP running the oil rigs, and also they're super easy to take. Honestly, either of them are takeable with bows. I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing it solo. It'll take you forever, or even duo. But if you have like a revolver or a DB or something, that makes it 10 times easier. And if you have guns, it's literally no problem. You can take rig in 2 minutes if you have guns. Any guns, pretty much, other than like a revolver maybe. But yeah, they're super good loot, super easy to take. I think I have guides on both of those on the channel, so go check out the Rust Monument Guides playlist. And yeah, that has all the guides for all the monuments. Next we have Cargo. I like to call Cargo AFK Simulator because you sit on it for like an hour, and it has insane loot. It's not an hour. It's usually like 20 minutes probably that you have to sit on Cargo, as long as you take it relatively quickly. Cargo is really good loot. I'm going to put Cargo at A tier, just because of how boring it is. I'm not going to lie. It's super boring. There is a fair amount of PvP now, actually. A really good amount of PvP. Before, you really wouldn't get counters unless they were coming in a helicopter or a mini. You usually wouldn't get counters, but now that you can actually land on it, you actually do get a lot of counters. So I would totally recommend going Cargo if you want PvP. But other than that, it's pretty boring. The loot is pretty insane though, so I'll give it that. Next we have Harbor. I'm going to put Harbor at like C, just because Harbor has a lot of brown crates. It does have a recycler. There's actually 2 different versions of Harbor. So there's, you know, 2 different recycler locations. One's kind of on the outside towards the water, and the one's kind of toward the main building on both different harbors. But yeah, it has a fair amount of loot. It does have a blue card that you can get. You have to run the green card puzzle. I have a guide on that as well. Next we have, I think this is Bandit. Bandit's really good. I'm going to put Bandit at S tier. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I have a guide on this also. I have a guide on every monument, so I might as well stop mentioning that. But yeah, Bandit, you can buy minis. You can buy pretty much anything. You can trade in cloth, stuff like that. So Bandit is super useful. Next we have, I think this is Power Plant. Power Plant I'm going to put at B tier. Honestly, usually there's not a ton of PvP here. It can drop Chinook crates, so that is a plus. You can also get your red card here. As long as you bring a blue card and a green card, that's what you're going to need to get into the red card room, or blue card room I should say, to get the red card. So yeah, not a ton of PvP here unless there's a Chinook crate. But overall, a decent monument. I go to Power Plant pretty often, so I totally recommend that. Next we have Airfield. I'm going to put Airfield at B as well. It's pretty much the same exact situation as Power. Not a ton of differences. I think it does have a few more military crates though, so I definitely recommend going there if you're going to look for some military crates. Without actually going in the card room, you can actually get them without going in there. Again, the card room is like down below, the same thing as sewer. It doesn't have its own recycler, unfortunately, so that's kind of a downside, but if it did, it would be really good. So Face Punch, that would be sick if you added that. I don't think you will, but yeah, Airfields are going to go in B tier. Next we have Launch Site. Launch Site, in my opinion, is the best monument in the game. It has a ton of loot. If you do choose to run the card puzzle, you will need a hazmat suit and water. You will still get rads if you have a hazmat suit. I may have a guide on Launch. I think I do. If not, go look up someone else's guide. I'm sure there's plenty of great guides out there on Launch Site. But yeah, Launch Site has the most PvP out of any monument in the game. It has probably the most loot out of any monument in the game. And overall, it's probably the biggest monument in the game. It's massive. But yeah, it has Bradley. Bradley's insane. Every large group on any high pop server takes Bradley. So yeah, best PvP in the game. I totally recommend Launch Site. I don't really think I can even say much more about Launch Site. It's just the best monument in the game. Next we have Lighthouse. I'm going to put Lighthouse at probably a D tier. It's pretty bad. There's no card room. You can get a green card out of this. It has probably 5 brown crates. I don't think you can get any military crates out of this. It has a couple barrels, and it has a recycler. So they're really the only thing Lighthouse is good for is if you're running oil rig or cargo and you want to recycle on the way back, you can actually drive to a lighthouse. Usually they're a little bit out in the water, so they're kind of not super close to land, but you can actually walk to them most of the time. But yeah, it's just a nice place to recycle after you run oil rig or cargo, but it's really not a good monument overall, so I wouldn't recommend it. What is this next? I think this is water treatment. I can't really tell. Water treatment is pretty much the same situation as power. Actually, you know what? Water treatment's going to be an A, and the reason for that is because it has no radiation. So as a new player, as someone, especially if you're just starting fresh on a server, water treatment is a really good place to go if you want to grub or if you just want to get easy loot. You can loot this without needing any radiation protection, so it's a great place to start off. Actually, this is not water. What is this? It looks like water. I don't know what this monument is, honestly, because this is water. So I don't know what this is. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but who knows, honestly. Let's just say this is gas station and this is water. So we're just gonna put gas station at an E tier. I'm gonna just say Oxum's and supermarket for one thing. Oxum's gas station and the supermarket are both one thing. I don't know actually if this is either of those, but they're both pretty garbage monuments. You can get a green card and 1 military crate out of. I think you can get actually like a total of 3 military crates. So it might seem like it's a lot, but they get looted more than any other monument because they're right on the road. They're usually close to the beach where nakeds are spawning, and they're getting looted all the time. So again, I really would not recommend doing them unless you're just starting off on a server that just freshly wiped. I don't know what this is. It looks like the road. I don't see a monument in here, so I don't know what that is. Don't know. Oh, this is train yard. Train yard, honestly, I like train yard a lot. I like it better than these, but I can't really rank it any higher because it does have radiation. It's not really better than water treatment, but you can get your red card here from the blue card room. There's usually actually more PvP at train yard than all the other tier 2 monuments other than water treatment, of course, because of the nakeds that run in there because of no radiation. But yeah, train yard's a really good monument, so I totally recommend this. This is a cave. I'm not really sure why they count a cave as a monument. Caves give pretty awful loot. There's like usually like 3 crates. There's actually like mine carts outside you can loot. They're the same thing as a crate, they just don't look like a crate. And there's a couple crates inside, but they don't give you normal crate loot. They don't give you components. They give you like a stack of like 20 metal frags, a stone pickaxe. So you know it's useful if you're like just starting and you want to loot a stone pickaxe or something. But other than that, it's really not all that great. So I wouldn't recommend going to any caves unless you're planning to build in. They're actually pretty durable if you want to build in a cave, but that's pretty complicated. So if you're a new player, I really wouldn't recommend building in a cave unless you want to watch like a build guide from someone on how to build in a cave. But yeah, that's all the rust monuments in the game. If you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to join the Discord down in the comments below. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me there. And yeah, just like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.